Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Jan Brothers in Canada. We are back with our second video on this topic, which is how to apply for tourist visa for your spouse in Canada. We have already created a video wherein we discussed about documents, my timeline, and the sample invitation letter, as well as the sample bank certificate. In case you haven't watched this, please watch that video first before you come to this, because in this video, we're going to talk about step-by-step instructions. I'm going to create a dummy account, and I'm going to, type in all the information from beginning, which you can refer to while applying for your spousal tourist visa application. And it's pretty easy. You don't have to hire any consultant. I mean, in case your case is very straightforward, I would recommend do it yourself. No need to pay extra cost for your application, because, I mean, unless your case is very complicated, I won't recommend you to go for a consultant. But in case your case is very simple, I mean, go ahead and do it yourself. That all the information is very transparent, easy. You can refer to CIC, IRCC websites, this video, and there are a lot of other videos available. Okay. So without wasting much time, I'll continue with the application. So you would need to sign up for creating an account for IRCC Portal. I'll paste the link of IRCC Portal in the description so that you can click on it and sign up. And once you sign up, it will ask for an invite code, as you can see here. And for that, you need to go to a second link, which I'm going to paste again on the description, which will look like something this. You just have to type in your email address. I'm just typing my dummy account. And you can type in your email address. Click on Get Invitation Code, and you will get an invitation code. I mean, in my case, I already created one, so I won't get another one. So I have it here. But in your case, you will get an invite code, which is something like this. Okay, type in your email address, create a password, and type the password once again. Enter the applicant's name, the first name and the last name. It should be exactly the same on the passport. Make sure you're not making any error. Put in your phone number here so that you will be notified. I'm just using a dummy number so that I'm going to delete this profile, of course. I don't want any random profile being hanging around on IRCC Portal. So once I'm done with this video, I'm going to delete this profile and just click on sign up. Okay, I've already signed up, so I'll just click on sign in, and you will see that you can click on the terms and condition I accept, and now you're good to go to start a new application for a visitor visa. Okay, so I'm clicking on apply for visitor visa. Now you have to select, I mean, if you can see, it's clear that before you apply, you should make sure that you are eligible. You can check the eligibility criteria here. I mean, it's pretty simple that the person should have a valid passport, and you should have a credit card to pay the fees. How much is the fees? I have already discussed it in the previous video. You can refer to that. And then simply you have to follow the steps, very easy steps. It will just ask for some information about you, sponsor, and the applicant. That's it. It will ask for some basic documents, which I discussed in the previous video, right? And you have 60 days to complete the application. To be honest, it should not take more than a day. But in case you don't have the documents or the information, then you can collect it and then you can start your application. But you still have 60 days to complete it. In case you fail to do that in 60 days, this profile will be deleted and you have to start it again. But I guess 1 or 2 days is enough. Click on I acknowledge and start the application. Okay, first question is, do you want to apply for more than one person? In our case, I just applied for my fiance, so I clicked on no. But in your case, in case you are applying for your parents, your brothers, sisters together, you can click on yes, right? So I'll click on no and click on save and apply. Now it's asking for what exactly are you applying for, right? In case you're applying for something else, please choose that option. But for this video, I'm going to choose visitor visa or super visa case because we are using the we are applying for tourist visa, which is also called TRV, temporary resident visa. It's also called tourist visa. It is also called visitor visa, right? So click on this. Now it's asking, why do you need a visa, right? Of course, you want to meet your spouse, right? So that's why. So if you're applying for your spouse tourist visa, select this option. In case something else, and make sure you're choosing the right option, okay? Do not fake anything. Do not mislead anything, because, I mean, if IRCC get it, then you might be banned for applying for visa for 5 years. So make sure you're choosing the right reason. Okay, so for your spouse, choose this option. And also it states that your spouse is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, right? So in case your spouse is on student visa or a worker visa, like a work permit, then choose this option, right? Otherwise, whatever is the case, please make sure you're using the right option, okay? Now, why you want to visit in Canada and what dates you are looking for. So this field is like a brief summary for IRCC officer, right? Of course, you have to put the detailed explanation, reason, and everything in the invitation letter, which I showed you in my previous video. But this should be very brief summary. It should not be more than 475 characters, because it will not allow you to enter anything else, anything above than 475 words. So make sure you are being very detailed here, okay? You should mention why you're visiting visa Canada, what dates, and who will sponsor you, where you'll be staying, and something like that, right? I'll show you what I typed in for my fiance. You can take a reference, but make sure you're not copy pasting anything, because I understand that the case might be similar, but it can't be exactly same, right? So make sure you are putting exactly the same scenario which you have in your application. So in our case, what we entered is, so on behalf of my fiance, I entered that my fiance Sahil Jain is a permanent resident of Canada, and we are getting married in November. Hence, we want to meet, spend some quality time, and get our pre-wedding shoot done. So this is the reason why she wants to visit here, right? And what dates? For a week. Why we chose this week? Because it's a long weekend. My fiance will also get a stat holiday. And where the person will be staying? She'll be staying with her future in-law. So at our place, right? So why we are mentioning this is because IRCC officer should know where you'll be staying, whether you'll be taking a hotel. So who will bear that cost, right? In this case, you can see that she'll be staying with us, so no need for any extra cost, right? So just trying to put, just trying to satisfy IRCC officer that she'll be coming here, we'll be taking care of her, right? So now we have to put the dates here, exactly what we put there. So September the 1st, and then September the 8th. Make sure your duration is reasonable. It should not be that long enough, or it should not be that in short. Make sure whatever your plan says, you're putting exactly that. Do not try to be very smart, because IRCC officer, in case they found anything suspicious, they're going to reject your application. So make sure you're being very genuine. UCID. In our case, my fiance never applied for any sort of visa in Canada, so she does not have a UCID. But in your case, if you have applied for any study visa, work permit, PR application, anything like that, make sure you have to put your UCID here if you have one. If not, then keep it blank and click on save and continue. So based on the questions, the answers you submitted in the last last section, now it will show you that this is what you have chosen and this is what you need. The documents. One is the valid passport or a travel document. B is a letter of invitation. Okay. Of course, we're going to add more documents just to satisfy IRCC officer, and making sure that we are being very detailed to avoid any rejection. It's giving you a hint that this is what all information you will need before you start the application, right? And go ahead. If you have all this information ready, go ahead. Continue to application. Okay. Are you applying on behalf of someone? If you are preparing an application for someone else, you are a representative. So in my case, my fiance is in India, right? She does not have, I would say, enough experience of applying for a visa. I have applied for my PR, my parents' tourist visa. So I know the process very detailed. So I am applying on her behalf. So I'll be her representative. So that's why it's clearly asking, are you the main applicant or are you a representative? So if you click on no, then it's fine. If you click on yes, then it's going to add one more document, which I explained in my previous video. That is a IMM 5476, something like the form, which will just state that Ayushi, I mean, the main applicant is authorizing myself to apply on her behalf. And I am eligible, I'm authorized to discuss her case with IRCC. So it's a form which I'm going to fill and she's going to sign it manually. And then I'm going to sign it and then upload it. Okay. So are you an authorized paid representative? No, of course, I'm not a paid person, right? If you are a family member, a third party, so answer no. Yes, I am a family member, so I'm answering no. But if maybe your consultant is applying, then they would click yes. Okay. Now it's asking, who are you in relation to your person you're applying? So of course, a family member, right? Information about the representative. Now you don't have to put the main applicant's information. You have to put your information, who is applying, right? So of course, I'm going to put dummy things, right? Now, this is all about the representative, okay? This is not about the main applicant now. Your phone number. I'll just put dummy number. Your mailing address, who is the representative. Start typing your address. I'll just put dummy address. Of course, I'm going to delete it. I'm just choosing a dummy address. I'll put a manual address so that I'm not using anyone else's address, right? 123 James Street. No. City. Province, BC. British Columbia. Postal code. I'm just going to use a dummy postal code as well. Your email address, the representative's email address, right? And then confirm your email address. It's pretty easy. I mean, the steps are very easy, as you can see, right? Jan Brothers in Canada. Okay, save and continue. Now you have to start filling the information for the main applicant, okay? Make sure you're not getting confused where you have to fill your information as a representative and where you have to fill the main applicant's application who need a visitor visa, okay? So this time, this is the main applicant information, right? So make sure you have the passport with you and you're typing exactly the same letters, no errors, okay? So in our case, I'm just putting a dummy numbers. So I'm going to use the dummy email ID, the date of birth. But make sure you are putting the right one, exactly the same as it is there on the passport. Okay, make sure you're choosing the right gender, save and continue. Now you have to start typing the passport details. Again, choose the right option. Choose the right, what kind of passport it is, where the passport is issued, what is the nationality, right? In our case, I'm choosing India. What is the passport document? Make sure you're checking it on the passport document itself, right? When was the passport issued? All this information is available on the passport copy, right? So make sure you're using the right one. And when it is expiring, so normally it expires on the previous day. So I'm using the dummy things, right? Normally it is valid for 10 years. So I'm choosing that thing, but make sure you're using the right one, okay? Now, some general questions. Are you a lawful permanent resident of United States? In our case, it was no, but make sure you're choosing the correct option. Have you ever held Canadian visitor visa? No. Do you currently hold a valid US non-immigrant visa? No. Are you traveling to Canada by air? Yes. So in our case, yes, you're going to travel from India from a plane, right? So that's why I chose this option as yes. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, country and citizens, country and places where the applicant has lived. So now the first question is country or territory where you were born. So she was born in India. Let's say she was born in Delhi. Are you a citizen of more than one country? She's not, so I'm choosing no. Which country or territory you're a citizen of? I'm choosing India for her. Yes, she is a citizen of this country since birth, so it has automatically taken her date of birth, which I put it in the previous section. But in case your applicant has anything else, so make sure you're choosing the right thing, okay? Now I'll click on next, save and continue. Do you have a valid national identity document? Yes, she does have it. So I have seen some videos wherein people are putting the passport details here, which is not wrong, but I'm just trying to make sure that I'm giving the details, I would say extra details to avoid any suspicious thing. So I'm not saying putting a passport details here is wrong, but I searched on Google. If you see, if you search on Google national identity for India, it says Aadhaar card. So that's why I put it Aadhaar card details here. I mean, I just Googled it, so it says Aadhaar card. So I'm just putting Aadhaar card. I have seen some videos wherein people have put in passport documents and they have got visas approved. So it could be right, it could be wrong, but I just chose to go with Google. So I got her Aadhaar card details. So I put it the Aadhaar card details here. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I know the Aadhaar card is for 12 digits. I'm just trying to put a random number here. Okay, date of issue. Every Aadhaar card has a date of issue. I mean, it's on the right or left corner. So I'm just putting a random one for now. Select the country. Of course, in her case, it's India. Save and continue. Have you used any other name in the past? In our case, no, she hasn't used it. So I'm clicking on no. Countries or territory of residence. So make sure that you're putting all the address where the applicant has lived. So in our case, she has been living on only one address. So I'm just choosing that address. 1234 James Street, Delhi. I'm putting a random address. Okay, 123001. Is your mailing address same? Yes, it is same. Now, the next question is, list your current country or territory of residence, then add all the countries or territories where you have lived for the past 5 years or for more than 6 months. So in our case, she's living on the same address from last 5 years, okay? And in the same country. But I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you have traveled to Australia for 2 weeks. So you don't have to put that details here because it says that you have to put those details where you have lived for more than 6 months, okay? So make sure you are doing the right thing. So I'm just choosing, so she's an Indian citizen, so I'm choosing this option. So she's living there from her date of birth. So I'm just choosing the same thing. So she's living there from 1993, January. I'm sorry. And then first. Okay. This is where I currently live. So now it won't ask you any other details if that is the scenario. But in case your applicant is living on the current address from last 2 years, then you have to put previous address details where the person has lived for at least, I mean, for last 5 years. Okay. So in our case, that's it. So I'll click on next, save and continue. Okay. Biometrics, fingerprint, and photo. So do we already have your fingerprints? Okay. So now this is asking for that, have you ever applied for a tourist visa or anything where you have given the fingerprints, right? But in our case, no, we haven't given it. So that's why we'll choose no. Okay. But if you have applied previously, so you can, and you have given the fingerprints, then you can click on yes. Okay. Okay. So we can click on save and continue. Okay. Now you can see that we have now completed the first and the second section, which is the purpose and the personal details. Now we are on the next section, which is the application. So now, I mean, you can see that one more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I mean, it's very step-by-step process. I mean, it's very simple. So we are going in like step-by-step line. So now it's asking who is inviting you. Now the sponsor details, right? So yes, you have to put your details. Who is sponsoring the person? So I'm just putting my name here. And how is the person related to you? Family member, right? So where the person is living, Canada. And you can type in your address, who is the sponsoring her. Okay, James Street. And then Surrey, and then British Columbia, postal code, right? Sorry. And then your phone number. And then your email address, sponsor details, okay? Gmail.com. Okay. Has anyone else invited you? In our case, no. I'm the only one who was sponsoring her. But in your case, if maybe one or more than person is sponsoring her, you can click on yes. Okay. And then click on save and continue. How much money do you have for your stay in Canada? As I mentioned in my previous video, IRCC has not specified any limit. Like in permanent residency case, they have specified that for if one person is applying, $12,000 are needed, something like that, right? Two persons is applying, $14,000 is limited. But in tourist visa cases, they haven't specified for any minimum fund requirement. Okay, but it should be. I would say that you should put that amount, which should be sufficient for the applicant's travel, stay, and the cost of food and shopping and everything. So that amount should be sufficient depending upon the number of days the person is staying. Okay. So, I mean, in our case, we submitted $23,000. So I'm putting that amount. But again, there's no minimum or maximum amount. So make sure you are trying to put sufficient amount, which should satisfy the IRCC officer that this is enough for her stay. If someone else giving you the money for your stay. In our case, I clicked on yes because I showed my bank account certificates. So that's why I will even explain it here that I, Sahil Jan, will be hosting her during her visit and bear all the expenses related to food, accommodation, and travel, including the airfare of the visit. And I'm again mentioning that please see attached bank balance certificate from CIBC under my name. We can move ahead for the next section. So now we are done with 3 sections. Now you can see that we are now for the 4th section, which says activities. So now you have to fill the main applicant's details, where the person has studied, where the person has worked for last 10 years. Okay. You must complete this section to be able to save your details. Okay. So again, this is all about the applicant, not about the sponsor. So make sure you're putting her details or his details in case it's your husband is the main applicant. Have you ever studied at a post-secondary school university? So in her case, yes, she has an MBA. So I clicked on yes. And now you have to put her college details. Again, I'm just putting a random college. And make sure you have her degree and you're putting the right details. Of course, you don't have to upload the degree here, but I'm sure you're gonna apply for her PR in maybe once she's here, or maybe work permit. So there you have to, submit the education document. So it should tie in with this application, okay? So that's why make sure you're not guessing or you're not putting a random date, okay? So whatever is in the degree, make sure you're putting it exactly the same. Okay, so I mean, of course, in our case, I'm putting a random here because I'm going to delete this profile after this video. Okay, it's a master's degree. So master's field, I'm just choosing business commerce for now. Here you have to put the institute address where he or she has studied. So let's say it's in Delhi. Make sure you're putting the complete details, okay? I'm just putting a random thing. Now it's asking for, let's see what it's asking for. Okay, so no other question, but I would recommend putting your bachelor's details as well. Have you ever studied? Each program you have studied, because it still says you can add more details, right? So because bachelor's and master's should be good. And I think that should be enough for the last 10 years. So that's why I put it bachelor's and master's details for her. Okay, now the F. So that's at 14 to 17. 17 October. Level of study, it's a master's. Now it's the bachelor's, okay. And then commerce. Address, of course, it should be, I mean, in our case, it was in India. Put the entire details and then click on save. Okay, now you're done with the academic thing. Now you have to put the work details. Did you serve in military? In our case, no. Now give details of all the employment activities for the last 10 years. I know it's very tedious thing because you have to grab her offer letter, relieving letters and everything. Best thing is it does not ask for dates. It asks for months. So it's fine. But again, make sure you're putting the right months, because you have to put all these details again once you apply for her work permit and PR card, and there you have to upload all the documents. In this case, in tourist visa, they are not asking you to upload any offer letter. I would recommend you upload it because it shows that you are currently working there and you will go back to India. But you don't have to put all the offer letters from the last 5 or 6 companies, just the current one in this tourist visa case. But in PR application, once she's here and you're gonna apply for her PR application, then you would have to upload all the information. Okay, so let's start. So I'm not gonna put like 5 or 6 things because it will take time. So I'll just put something like this, that she's working, I would say she's working currently in the same company, to waste, I mean, I mean, it will help not to increase the time of this video, right? But in my real application, I entered all the 4 or 5 company names, address, the dates where she worked, where she actually worked. So it took me, I guess, 2 hours to fill her application, but it's fine, right? So yeah, I'll put it where she was working, and then job, whatever she was doing, and employer name, and then main duties of the job. So briefly describe. So I just took her resume and put 1 line because this section has a limit. This section has I would say character limits, so that's why it didn't allowed me to put more details. So I'll just put she's working in HR or something. So maybe 1-liner is fine. Just a brief of what she was doing. So maybe like HR activities, hiring, managing, onboardings, something like that. But so address where the company is, right? So let's say Noida. I mean, you have to put the entire address, right? And then save it. So make sure you're putting all the company name details with the timeline. And in case you see a gap, make sure you're putting the unemployed thing, because it won't let you proceed until you fill in all the 10 years duration. So let's say if you have a gap of 1 month, let's say maybe in 2018 or 17. So you can select the time duration for that and keep yourself as unemployed, something like that, okay? So unemployed, here is an option of unemployment, okay? And you can put your home address, okay? So that's it. Now you can go to save and continue. Okay, okay, okay. And then save and continue. What does it say? Give all the details of your employment for the last year. You're missing for the 10 years. Oh, how come? Make sure you can see like this, you will get an error in case you are not filling out on 10 years details. So what I did was from January 2013 to this 10 years, right? Why it still says no? Okay, maybe I'll put it 2012. Let's see. Let's see, continue. Review your entries if you're unemployed, this, select that option, 2019, and then 2017, October 14, and then 2012 to this date. Okay, select that current position. That's it. I think I did everything right. Maybe January to, let's say, 2023 January. And then I can add another from 2023 January to ongoing, maybe something else. Should not created an issue, but let's see. Employer, ABC, main duties, HR, address, India, Noida, save, and let's try to continue now. Okay, perfect. So sometimes it creates an issue because maybe some technical issues. So yeah, once you fill in all the company details, it should proceed like this, okay? Next question is travel history. Have you ever traveled to any other country where you are, I mean, other than the one where you're a citizen? So in our case, it was no. In your case, if the person has traveled, so make sure you are entering all the details, like where you traveled and for how long, okay? So I click on no and continue. Okay, have you ever stayed in Canada beyond this? No. Have you ever been refused for a permit to any country, okay? So in our case, it was no. Okay, these are some security questions. Like, have you ever been committed any crime? Have you ever been arrested? Have you ever been charged for anything? Have you ever been something like that, right? So if you had, so you need to provide all the details. If no, then no, okay? Now, another questions, are you or have you ever been a member of this? In our case, no. Have you ever witnessed anything like that? No, okay? So this is our scenario. Make sure you're filling out as per your scenario. Okay, in tourist visa application, you don't need to provide a medical because it's less than 6 months case. But in case you have applied for PR and you have done a medical exam, then you can click on yes and provide the details, right? But in our case, it was no, so I'll click on no. In the last 2 years, were you diagnosed with the tuberculosis? In our case, it was no. This is also no. Save and continue. Are you currently receiving any dialysis? No. Have you ever had a dog? No. Have you ever had a mental condition? No. So in our case, it's all no. So I'm just clicking on no. Okay. Now, family information. Okay. So if you're applying for a spouse, of course, you will put as a married. But since I applied for my fiance, so we are still single. So I clicked on single. Do you have a biological, adopted, or stepchildren? In our case, it was no. Yes, I understand. If you were adopted, then provided. So now you have to put your parents' information, like your mother's name, last name, your relation with your mother or father, right? Put their details, like their date of birth, right? Whatever their date of birth is. I'll just put a random one for now. and where they are living, what they are doing. In case they are housewife, you can put it as a housewife. In case they are living with you, then click on yes. If not, then you can add their address. Will they come with you into Canada? In our case, it's no, so I'm clicking on no. But if they are coming with you, then you can click on yes, okay? Similarly, you have to put your father's details, right? Put your father's name, relationship, date of birth. So I'll just put a random one, country where they're living, or sorry, country of birth, and then whatever they are doing, you can put it. And then yes or no. If they live with you, then yes. And then will they come with you or not? So that's it. That's all. Okay. Some basic information. That's it. And make sure you're putting all the information based on your passport. Okay. Everything should tally. Okay. What is your native language? In our case, it was Hindi. Can you communicate in English or French? She can. Can you, which language you prefer? Of course, English in our case. Email address of the applicant. Now, this time you have to fill in your applicant's email address and details here, okay? Not yours, okay? So I'm just putting a random one. I mean, just to show, but make sure you're putting the right one. Okay, Jan Brothers at gmail.com. All right. Now the telephone number of the applicant. You can put your applicant's Indian number. It's fine. Okay. No issues with that. Dial code 91. Oops. It just ask for a dial code 91. Okay. And then the telephone number, whatever it is, like 987654221. 7910. Okay. I'm just putting a random one, but you can put the correct phone number for your spouse. Okay, save and continue. I think that's all. Yeah, you're done. Now you can review your answers. Make sure you're checking it again and again so that you're not making any errors. It's just a summary of what information we just filled in, right? And once you review everything, you can click and you feel that everything is right, then proceed. If not, let's say if you think this is wrong, you can edit it and fill it again, and then save and continue. Now, all the documents you have to upload here. So national identity, in our case, we uploaded the Aadhaar card, passport, proof of funds. I already shown these documents, like sample things as well in my previous video. So if you haven't checked this, please go ahead and check the previous videos. Use of representative, since I clicked on yes in my question that I am applying on her behalf, so that's why it popped up. But in your case, if you say that you are not the representative and it's the main applicant who is applying by her or himself, then this form will not come in this checklist, okay? So no need. So if you can see additional documents. So here in additional documents, you can provide the invitation letter, the job offer letter, the salary slips for the sponsor, the passport, PR card, and everything, which I mean, all the documents which I mentioned in my previous video. So you can make a PDF, you can combine it, make sure you're in the size limit, I think it's 2 MB, and then you can upload it and click on save and continue. That's it. Once you are done with this, the next option will be payment. Okay, then you will be using your credit card to make the payment. I think $85 for biometric, and then $100 for visa fees. That's it. And then it will ask for your signatures. Like, you just have to put your name, first name and last name, and hit submit, and you're done. I guess within maybe 1 or 2 days. If you have applied on a weekday, I think it takes only 1 or 2 days to get the client summary. But if you have applied over the weekend, I think it takes 5 days. Sometimes even on weekdays as well, they take 5 days. So that's all. Once you are done with this, you can wait for the biometric letter. Once you book an appointment for biometric letter, then you can go and get your biometrics and photographs done in BFS office, and then just wait for the results, okay? I've already shown my detailed timeline in a previous video. So that's all. See, if you can see, it's very simple, right? Straightforward. Make sure you have all the documents ready, all the information ready before you start applying for this application. And if you still have any questions, please mention it in the comment section. If you feel that, do you need any other video on this topic, you can mention it. I'll see if I can make another video on any specific topic, right? That's all. If you like this video, please share it with your friends or family members who are planning to come to Canada on a visit visa. You can, if you like this video, hit the like button, and also please subscribe our channel so that whenever we put another video, you will get notified. All right. Thank you.